I had a really good question the other day. Um, After I talked a little bit about sofa depths and talked about these extraordinarily deep sofas that we're seeing and how they're kind of coming in and out of style as people get them and realize they're not so great. The question was, that seems like a fad or a trend. How do I avoid buying something that's trendy and focus on something that's going to have kind of a longevity to it? Great question. It can be a little bit difficult with something like furniture because furniture is driven to a degree by style. So you are going to see new things come out, kind of get popular. You'll see widespread adoption of it. And then sometimes it tapers off. Sometimes it sticks around a little bit longer. A great way, I think, to assess whether something is trendy or maybe has some longevity to it is to think about whether this is something that's kind of a specialty item that has suddenly been popularized. I will give you a few examples and explain why they are trends, in my opinion, rather than something that really belongs in most people's living rooms. One example would be a few years ago, all of a sudden, we saw curved sofas everywhere. Now, are there places where curved sofas are appropriate? Yeah, absolutely. There are certain types of homes that really can accommodate those, where it makes sense, where it is very much a formal entertaining space rather than your actual living area. But curved sofas are not inherently all that great for most houses or for most people in how they actually use a sofa, where you're lying down on it or whatever, because it's hard to lie down on something that's curved. Duh. So that's an example, I think, of a furniture trend or a fad. You have maybe noticed that all those curved sofas that were out on the market and were being pushed really heavy by a lot of these different manufacturers have now kind of fallen off of the front pages of their catalogs. Other examples would be things like armless sofas. Again, there's a time and a place for an armless sofa, and I'm not saying that it's not right for you. I'm saying it's wrong for most people. Super deep sofas are in this category as well. And, I think there's a little nuance involved here. If you are in doubt, look for things with historical context. And history at this point, we talk about traditional sofas in the context of like old traditional designs that have been around for hundreds of years. But we are, 60, 70 years into mid-century modern. That's not new stuff. So, if it's enduring, it has a place in a home. Color-wise, kind of the same deal. If you are in doubt when going with a bold color, focus on things that have maybe a historic tie to the style of sofa that you're looking at, the style of your home, or my personal fallback is if you love a color, you're going to keep loving a color. Don't worry so much about it. But yeah, think about why these companies might be pushing this stuff. Armless sofas look cool in a magazine. They're not really going to be that great in your house in many circumstances. Curved sofas, same deal. Yeah, if they shoot it in a $5 million mansion that has the perfect setting for it, it's an ultra modern setting or something like that, it's going to look good. How is it going to look in your house? Let's be realistic about it. Another example of something that's been very popular and is kind of starting to fade a little bit already is modular sofas. Now, certainly there are times and places for modular sofas. Some people move their stuff around all the time and really truly desire that reconfigurability. But I think if you are honest with yourself, you'll realize that most of us don't actually do that all that often. And in a lot of circumstances, the benefits to the consumer, the benefits to the homeowner of a modular sofa are not going to outweigh the negatives of a modular sofa, of which there are several. Modular sofas, I think, have been popularized by a lot of manufacturers, frankly, because it makes it easier for them because they have two different frames to build, a corner piece and an armless piece, and that's it. It's a lot easier for them to build those and to fulfill those orders than to do true custom furniture, which is what we do. So can a modular sofa be right for you? Sure. Can a curved sofa be right for you, or an armless sofa, or any of these other things? Yes, they can be right for you, but they are at the same time wrong for most people. So keep that in mind. It will help you kind of sort through the BS that some of these companies are throwing your way as to what is actually going to make sense in your home for years versus what looks cool in a catalog this season.